everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Dorenthea, and today we are on chapter 4 of my new book called Next 4 Steps to Get Unstuck and Walk into Purpose. The title of chapter 4, well, first of all, we're on step 2. So we finished step 1 a couple of weeks ago. So now we are on step 2, which is stop and retreat. And the reason I titled this step Stop and Retreat, because many times we get so busy, we get so distracted with life that we forget about the things that matter most. And the number one thing that matters the most for me is God, spending time with God and in His presence. So today we are on chapter 4. The first step of stopping and retreating is stop majoring in the minors. And by that I mean that many times we focus on things and we blow them out of proportion, and we put other things first before God. And they really are things and distractions that when you think about it, it really wasn't that important. And it takes our time away from the most important thing, and that's God. And that's one of the enemy's strategies, is to distract us, to get our minds off God, because he knows that if he can distract us and get our minds off God, then he knows that he can cause us to walk in defeat in our lives. And so today we are talking about majoring in the minors. Don't major in the minors. Major in the major thing, and that is the presence of God. Chapter 4 is about Luke chapter 10, which talks about the story of Mary and Martha. And I'm sure most of you have read that story of Mary and Martha, or you have heard people teach about it. So here we see two sisters that they are preparing their home for the presence of Jesus's visitation. He's coming to their home to eat with them and their brother Lazarus. And so we find Martha that she is busy about cleaning the house and getting everything ready for dinner. Y'all women know how we get. We just want everything to be perfect when we are having guests over for dinner. And so she's getting the house ready. And Mary, on the other hand, her sister Mary, she's in the living room, sitting at the feet of Jesus. And so she's sitting there and she's just taking it all in. She has taken the opportunity of a lifetime to sit at the feet of Jesus. But Martha, on the other hand, she kind of gets upset. And then she goes to Jesus. And she says, Jesus, don't you care? Do you not care that I'm doing all of this work? And Mary, she's just sitting there, just doing nothing. And I'm doing all this work, and I'm preparing this great meal for you and your disciples. And isn't that how we get sometimes? That when we encounter things in our lives, situations or circumstances that are challenging or difficult, we try to fix it ourselves. We try to work it out. We spend time thinking about how can we make this thing happen, and we expend all of our energy and strength to this thing, and all the while God is waiting there for us to come to Him and ask Him for help and say, Lord, please help me. But instead we're trying to do things on our own. We're trying to fix things, and we're trying to fix a problem without praying first. And then we get frustrated, and then we want to go to God and say, Lord, help me. Why aren't you helping me? That's how we get sometimes. We forget about the major thing and we focus on the minor things. Whereas if we put God first in everything that we do, in every situation, then we will know that God is waiting for us and he wants to help us, and he will help us when we go to him. It may not be as soon as we want it, but we need to rest in God's assurance and trust him that he will work everything out. So Jesus had told Martha, he said, Martha, Martha, why are you troubled? You're troubled about so many things that don't really matter. But Mary has set her mind on the one thing: being in my presence, hearing my words. And he said, and I will not take that one thing away from her. What is that one thing? The Bible tells us about that one thing in Psalm chapter 27 and verse 4. It says, one thing have I desired of the Lord, that will I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. And that's the one thing that we should desire. When David talks about being in the house of the Lord, he's talking about being in the presence of God, dwelling in his presence. And so I want to encourage you today to stop majoring in the minors. Give your situation, give your problem to God, and let him fix it for you. So until I see you next time, I am Dorenthea, and I hope that you subscribe below if you liked this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.